My bad. So the movie itself, you were saying?
Well, I mean, where are we gonna go back to?
No, we'll get that later. I want you not to lose your train of thought.
What's making me lose my train of thought right now is this horrible traffic, like not even traffic.
Just bad drive. Come on. We got this. You were saying?
Again, like we were stating before, the movie has really good pacing. I never felt like there were really noticeable lulls. Like there were definitely some moments where I'm just like, oh, it's slowing down here. We're trying to like catch up to what's about to happen as things are assembled by the Avengers.
Right, and we said that the action it lets itself breathe. The movie lets itself breathe intentionally. Instead of like just your regular like summer blockbuster action.
And it's right. It's very funny. It's got a lot of funny parts. It's very emotional, but it also comes back on those moments. It like balances all of those moments.
Yeah.
Which is like really good for. I mean, again, like people dismiss superhero films and. Like, this is just phenomenal storytelling. Like, it was great storytelling. The action sequences were really well done.
There was moments.
A lot of moments where it was just like, you had to verbally express, what just happened. And then there were also a lot of scenes where it was like there's a lot happening, and I feel like it would take multiple viewings to actually process what's going on in some of the scenes.
Just a side note, I was counting the visual effects, and it got over 10 different visual effects companies.
I hate everything about life right now and these slow drivers.
Several people put a lot of hard work into the visual details and the making that movie look good, and it shows. Like,
yeah, there weren't any real moments where I was just like, this is too CG or too out of place, or everything was just gorgeous. Visually, it was gorgeous. The sound was amazing. Even the soundtrack was really good, and there were so many scenes too where I was just like, man, how did they film this, or when did they film this, or how was this done? Like, it was very good. As far as like comic book authenticity, like I feel like it's its own thing, but it's phenomenal, and I'm still digesting it right now. Before we turn this video on, I tried to make a video, but then I didn't hit the record button, and then before that we did an audio, and I was like, hey Tasha, what were your thoughts on the movie? And like, we said it was good, we said people should go see it, and then when I asked her, some takeaways, she was just like, started crying. Just like tears started streaming. This movie's got the feels, y'all. This movie's got the feels. And it's to the point where if you weren't convinced by the first Iron Man, right, that they could do comic book movies and it not be a comic book movie, but just be a good movie, and it just happened to detail comic book characters. All right, it's got some drama, it's got some action,
if you weren't
comedy,
convinced by
full package,
the captain, if you weren't convinced by Winter Soldier,
which is
you're ridiculous.
Top tier.
This is amazing. If you weren't convinced,
like number 2
by Ant-Man, that they could do comedy and be
no, you mean Ragnarok.
or Ragnarok. Well, Ant-Man came out first. So I'm just saying. If you weren't convinced by Ant-Man, and then you weren't convinced by Ragnarok, right? If you weren't convinced by Black Panther, that they could tell a strong story with a more complicated villain than they've ever done. Mm-hmm. And then if you weren't convinced by Infinity War originally,
that they won't pull punches.
Right. Then honestly, you have no taste. But I'm not sorry. But you have to be convinced by this movie that no longer should you have to legitimize your film by calling it. No longer should being a movie based on a comic book
or other medium
source or any other medium.
It
really
seems like with comic books it has to be the most like, well, it's a comic book movie, but no one says anything when they're when it's a book to movie. Like,
right. this is one of the most
look
entertaining.
How Lord of the Rings swept awards. There's no reason why this movie shouldn't sweep awards.
And Lord of the Rings is fantasy. Lord of the Rings was what graphic novels
Ogres,
would be for
orcs,
their time.
trolls,
It just
elves.
You're able to sustain disbelief and give Oscars to elves and dwarves and wizards, but you have issues when somebody has a shield that he can throw and bounces off of stuff, or wears a cape. You got problems. So anyway, this is the shoot. This movie good.
It's a good movie, y'all.
Oh man,
it's a good movie. I'm still a little emotional.
They just put their foot in it. There are some takeaways, some criticisms, stuff that we will have.
Definitely, and those will come later after we've
We're gonna give people a reprieve. We're gonna give people time to actually go see it before we do anything like that. Honestly, I don't even think you should watch this until you go see the movie and then see how we feel about going to see the movie. Right now, as much as you need to know is in the beginning parts where we're just gonna be like, go see it, and that's it. Just go see it. See for yourself. Make up your own mind about it. This is not one of those situations where we have issues about the production process of the movie where we would be, anti the movie before.
Yeah,
launch.
there's no.
We don't have any real big red flags about this movie in particular.
We haven't had any about any.
Not really of the Marvel movies, and so except for our ancient one.
Oh, I forgot.
Yeah.
And it just sucks that movie was so friggin' good. It's just like I needed to dislike it.
Yeah.
Because of their casting for the ancient one.
So again, I hope you enjoy. Please feel free to let us know if you went to see it. If you did, tell us how you felt about it. It was, dog.
It's a roller coaster.
It is. So we're gonna get in the house right now. It's a 3-hour movie, so I gotta use the bathroom. It's just a long time. And you all enjoy your Saturday. And we will be back probably next week with our spoiler-filled review /
Get to go see it
critique
again
of the
too.
movie.
Probably try to go see it another
Yeah.
time. I don't know how we're gonna squeeze in.
It's gonna be tight. It's gonna be real tight.
Tight.
And because Tasha, you start work.
Yeah, and I got other stuff to do next weekend. So.
Yeah. But anyway, all right. We'll talk to you all soon. This was Endgame.
Game over, man.
Game over, man. All right, guys. Bye.